is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. We have a very special guest joining us all the way from Belgium. Please welcome Corry MacDonald. She is a creative healer. Corry, thank you for joining us today. Please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you and Athena too.
Yeah.
I've met the dogs. It's awesome. I am a creative healer. I believe just each one of us is meant to flow as what I call the creative intelligence, or you can insert any higher power there.
Sure.
That we are, like, in order to leverage life's challenges. I'm also an artist, so I just call it as the greatest upcycling, where you take the stuff that seems broken, discarded, and just like those cycling artists can make masterpieces out of stuff that some would think is just broken and trash. You can do the same thing with your life.
Oh,
and that's the stuff that is important to me, not just to share, but to teach people how to do that for themselves, because especially now during these times where people are going through a lot with COVID and everything, I think it's really essential to have these tools for resiliency, to have that power within and use it easy. Yeah.
For sure. I totally agree with that. I think that's a beautiful thing. And we talked about a lot before we started recording, but I think that when people are stuck in a very miserable mindset, or in they're stagnant in their lives, there are a lot of blocks that prevent them from like tapping into that creative flow, like you just talked about, like flow. And for me, I'm very creative. You can tell I'm very colorful. Like I was a designer. I love my fashion. I love putting stuff together. So I definitely allow that to flow through me. And I'm creating content on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So,
You've got a waterfall of podcasts coming to. You're a very creative soul, for sure. Sure.
It's funny. I asked my mom, and okay, we'll get back on track with what you do. I asked my mom, I'm like, Mom, what do you think I was going to be when I was younger? Because I'm telling you, like, I'm very strong in the business side, but I'm naturally more creative. And she's like, yeah, I thought you were going to be some kind of artist. And I was like, I wish you would have told me that sooner.
Hey, you're totally doing it, right? All that corporate stuff is so beautifully marrying into this creativity that you have.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like we were talking a little bit before we started recording here, is like a whole mind that's in coherence. There's a thinking mind, which is linear, logical, very like corporate mind would be like, you got scheduled, you got budget, you got time. That's really important. The trouble is, so often we just are, especially in Western society, really honor that mind. We forget that there's this thing called a feeling mind, and it's in the heart's intelligence. And now science can measure it. So the heart's magnetical field is actually 5,000 times stronger than the magnetical field of this one. Wow. Can you believe that? And the thing is, this one doesn't get taken so serious in Western culture because it's imaginative, it's creative, it's colorful. It doesn't tell time. It's just like kind of messy, like your puppy, but it's full of life, and it's full of unlimited possibilities. So when you hook these two up, and that's what I teach people to do, is when you get into that power of just getting in playful flow, this one can rest a bit, but it actually gets coherent, so that when people are like getting lost in playful, I call it almost doodling, when they get in the flow of the things I do in workshop or that I teach in my book, then all of a sudden this one can like relax a little bit, and new information, downloads can come through, so that, wow, okay, I never even thought about this angle before. I should talk to this person, or, just beautiful ideas. And I know, looking at you, seeing what's happening with your podcast, you're in touch with that. You have them going. So that's something that's gorgeous. And that happens when we're in flow state, for sure. Yeah.
And it's taken, and so we'll talk about your process, but for me personally, it's taken a long time to get here where it's flowing like this, and that I just accepted that flow, if that's the right way to put it. But I've also gone through some traumatic experiences. I've gone through a lot of trauma in my life, and I just kept like going through it. I was like I've always kind of excelled. I'm a type A personality. but I found after my husband passed away and I was forced to rebuild my life and kind of just take a look and take stock of what do I want to see in my life moving forward? What
Mm,
kind of person do I want to be? And I just decided I want to be in a joyful state. I want to be grateful. I want to be have gratitude every day and just and have peace. You know, some days are
mm,
harder than some days can be hard. Don't get me wrong.
for
Not every
sure.
day is a great day. You know, some days,
No.
we have bad days. It's just it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I wake up with intention and I allow myself just to, I told you I had lost my corporate job in December. And I
Yes.
decided at that point, I'm just going to surrender to the unknown. I said, I'm just going to surrender.
Oh,
And, I do get a little worrisome sometimes, but every time I just like continue to stay in that place of faith,
yes.
whatever anybody's beliefs out there, your higher power, whatever that may be. But for me,
Yeah.
like staying in a place of faith
Yes.
and just knowing that I'm going to be provided for, it has just been it's just been an amazing past couple months. I mean, it's just like it's just been
Yeah.
something I can't even, and some people that's hard. It's hard to surrender to the unknown.
Yeah, because I so honor everything you're just shared and what you're saying. I think we're so aligned, Deanna. Like, I, like you, I haven't gone through the same story as you, but the only reason I know about healing and about accessing this is because I call it 4x4. I went 4x4ing through my life in absolute depression, anxiety,
Yeah,
pain for so long, hammering. I'm a hard worker. I come from farming stock. So
yeah,
it's like the mentality of just go harder, you know?
yeah,
And I think you and I can say we go hard, we can work hard, but that's not always the answer. And when trauma's in us, it's a beautiful thing. It's back to that breakdown preceding a breakthrough. It keeps on patterning in our life
yeah,
until we go, oh, wait a minute, maybe the answer's in there,
yeah,
instead of like reacting to it or over. I call it overdoing life, like we
yeah.
ever, over busy our life, or we over give to other things, or over binge, like whatever.
Sure.
There comes a point where we grab hold of it and go, actually the gold's in there, I can alchemize this. But it's not easy. This is the highest, hardest choice, but it's the most rewarding, because like your mom said, she could see potentials in you that you couldn't even see. Suddenly we're doing things and we're showing up in ways and we're thinking, oh my God, like this was in me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come out when we're skipping through the roses.
No, no, it does
No,
not.
no, it does not. But what happens is, if we can come through that other side and grab hold of it and pivot it and start to work with it and see new potentials becoming new ways of being in ourselves, then all of a sudden we realize that this is wisdom now. This is not trauma anymore. This is wisdom. And then we have a whole new way of being. And that's exciting, because that's really all about what your story is. And I love your story. That's why I was so excited to be with you today. And I just, everything about what you're sharing and what you're uncovering in yourself, I just got to honor it. So
Oh, thank you.
amazing.
Thank you very much. It's been a long ways. It's interesting to me like how long it takes some people, including myself, to get to a point to where um you want to tap into like
Mm,
just being well, but like what you do. Let's talk about what you do. So, if a client reaches out to you, so let's
yeah.
like talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't
What
know
would
what
that look
questions to
like?
ask you because
Yeah.
what you do is so unique. And I talk to different types of coaches all over, and every single one has got a different premise. They're just very
Yeah.
unique. But you do, I love you uncovering the intelligent. Is uncovering the intelligent creative spirit within her clients so that they can access their innate ability to creatively connect with the universal self and use the energy of the and I totally believe in energy because we are energy. And like you
You
said,
got it.
it's
Yeah.
scientifically proven now that we
You
are
got it.
energy. Um, the unified field of intelligence as a power tool for transforming their unique challenges into abundance in all forms. Boom!
I am. And nobody taught us this. Go think about in school, like I think you were a good student too. I could do math, I could do all the tests, and
Yes.
I was always like keen. And then no one said what you do with like stuckness or with anger or all these trapped emotions inside. So that is actually where the gold is these, I talk about those things that I don't say positive or negative emotions. All of emotion is energy in motion. And you're right. If scientists take us down to the tiniest thing, we're just vibrating quarks. I look like a lady in a green dress, but I'm just this vibrating quark. Happens to be 6'1", big quark.
Oh, wow, you're that tall?
I'm really tall.
I
And
love
to
it.
think that for most of our life, the past 25 years, we've mostly in Asia, like I just look like,
Yeah.
talk about a vibrating quark. But yeah, it's really, the essence is this, is that we are a whole myriad of potentials and emotions, and those matter. And yet, when we were kids, or in our culture generally, we weren't taught stuff. And so what do? Or we were taught things like put on a happy face, or
Yeah.
girls shouldn't be angry, or boys shouldn't cry. So what do? We just shove those babies down.
Yeah.
And yet there's so much potential and power in those if we learn how to go to them.
Yeah.
So, for example, I would have someone come to me and say, I'm so frustrated with my partner or my kid, or they say my kid's coming to you, they're just beating up other kids, or they're crying all the time. So anger, sadness, shame, disgust,
Yeah.
fear, these are the core heavy emotions, right?
Right.
But when we pivot them, there's always something on the other side. On the other side of anger is great joy.
Yeah.
On the other side of shame is I'm enough. So how do we go there? Generally, every person you're talking to, like you said, had different modalities to get there.
Yeah.
So with art, transpersonal art therapy is the training I got. These are all the things I share with people are all the things that I needed to heal myself
Sure.
when I was going through my heaviness to light. So I just gravitated towards the transpersonal art therapy. Being an artistic person in art school, I was always looking at the emotions in people's art. I could feel people's energy. I liked design. I could do it. But I had a lot of profs say, Corry, after this, you're going to study art therapy. And what is that? And then eventually my life's 4x4 enough that I was like, I need it. Like, I need help. So basically, art therapy, if you break it down, the art and art therapy is basically flowing emotions, energy and motion out of you and onto a page so that you're not carrying that anymore. You can move the heavy stuff out. Literally, I will say to someone, we always take a transpersonal approach, which is that we're more than body, mind, spirit. We're connected to the whole universe.
Yep.
We're the universe in genes, the micro, and if we hook up with the macro, we can't get wrong because we got support, we got solutions, we got backup. Yeah. So we go inside, we close our eyes, we breathe, we get in the heart, which I mentioned 5,000 times stronger magnetic field. So we're attracting more information. Then I say, just become like a little child and let yourself scribble that emotion out, literally with a crayon. And it comes out. The hand just starts moving. It's not from here. So people at first get scared. They're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's like, if your eye is sticking on blue, it's blue day. If your if you're bored, drop it, grab, and then you move it out. And once it's out on a page, it's like a container. It's like the paper becomes a holder for you. So then all of a sudden you can dialogue with it. You can ask it. You can pivot it. And that's the process I teach in my book. And in my workshops is how you can actually take that as your art material, work with it instead of feeling crappy that you're angry or judging yourself that you're angry or sad all the time. You honor it. This is part of you, and it's information and intelligence, and it can transform because, as we said with our trauma, inside of every piece of trauma is the gold nugget of something that wants to be born in us, but just couldn't because of we didn't have the tools. So it's just a big power tool is what it is.
What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Ho, 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 ladies. The holidays came early, not only for you, but for your man here at Manscaped. the leading men's hygiene brand. Manscaped just launched new products that your man will actually use, including their all-new ultra premium body wash and a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Also, this awesome refined cologne. It smells so sexy. My man loves it. I love him wearing it, especially after he's all clean shaven, using the lawnmower 4.0 and trimming those nasty nose hairs and those ear hairs. You know what I'm saying, ladies? It's time to give the man in your life the gift of beautiful skin, hair, and balls this holiday season. Go to manscaped.com and use the code labelfree20 for 20% off and free shipping. That's right, ladies, 20% off and free shipping with the code labelfree20 at manscaped.com. So with that being said, Corry, can you please show us your book and give us all the links where people can find you if they want to learn more
Yeah,
about you and to work with you?
definitely, definitely. So my book is Life in Full Colors, Unlock Your Childlike Curiosity. Like I said, we're doodling like kids in play school. That's how easy it can be to uncover and activate the creative intelligence you are. So this is the book that came out, and a lot of people are enjoying it. It's more than a book; it's an experience. Inside, literally, you got to get your crayons out because I invite you into it, and I talk you through the 7 steps that will leverage any heaviness. So you literally feel like you're in workshop with me in this. And you start to see, like Deanna's mom said, oh my gosh, you're so creative. Every human is creative. You just nobody showed you that side of yourself. So especially delicious if you've always thought, "Oh, I think I am, but I don't know."
Yeah.
And if you feel like I don't know if I do this myself in a book, don't worry, because every month I run an online course with which is a companion course to Life in Full Colors. And but it's more than you're not just doing it yourself. You do it's the book. We go week by week, but at the end of the week, I have a live Zoom call and we get in together. And whatever you're chewing on in real time, we workshop it together. Because you know what? If you're struggling with something, definitely I am, or
Yeah.
someone. We're all human. We're all. I've lived now 25 years in 5 different countries, many cultures. We're pretty much all the same, just a little bit different sizes and shapes. So the next companion course is starting May 3rd, and where you can find out all this stuff and tons of free resources too on my website is www.creatinghealingwithcorry, and Corry Corry, like sorry, very Canadian, .com. So you can find the courses, the book. It's on Amazon right now. And yeah, it's just all there for you. You have this inside of you. It's really there.
Awesome. And I'll put all those links in the description of the
Thanks.
episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to share something really quick before we wrap things up, Corry. I do a lot of work with Refuge for Women, Chicago, and they're an organization
Oh,
that help rehabilitate victims of human trafficking because I too am a survivor. Um,
fantastic.
and one of their, I haven't worked with them personally. I've just kind of gone through a lot of
Yeah.
counseling and stuff myself. But one of the exercises that they do with these survivors of human trafficking that have been through a lot
Yeah.
is a lot of art therapy, like what you're talking about. And so when I did an episode with her and she gave an example, we pulled up an example, shared my screen of a picture of when one of their residents came in and she
Yeah.
painted a picture of what life looked like to her when she first came, and then she
Yeah.
painted a picture of what it looked like when she was done going through all of her therapy and her rehabilitation.
Oh,
And the
gorgeous.
first picture was very dark and
Yeah.
stormy and very sad, and the second picture was beautiful, sunny, flowers, and you just right there is an example of how using art and the creativity that can flow through you and just that expression and how you can grow throughout that healing process.
Amazing.
So, what you do is very important and it's very significant. I
Mhm.
think that when we allow ourselves to be open to just letting that flow through us,
Yeah.
that the potential for healing is even greater because you aren't blocking that. And I think that's the hardest part, and I'm sure you can attest with your clients, the
Mhm.
hardest part is not to be blocked. Right.
Yes, this is so crucial you spoke that. And in fact, I devote, like, before you even get into the steps of doing, and thank you for sharing that. It's very true. It's quite beautiful. You will literally see yourself evolve
Yeah.
through the colors and the shape. And you don't think about it. You're just being yourself. You're living your true, authentic self step by step. And you see, we're an ever unfolding masterpiece. And we are so incredible. We have such intelligence.
Yeah.
And it's very true. The first foundational chapters of this book and in my course is we can't even begin to access that part of us until we feel safe.
Yeah.
So how do we create a safe space? That's a huge foundational piece in this book is, have we ever considered how to feel safe in ourselves and how to create a safe space in our environment? These are questions that we actually can do this now. We're at home. Many of us are, locked down. What a beautiful opportunity to turn inward and learn these skills that elevate our consciousness, elevate our vibration. And now we know, as Deanna and I said, we don't stop and end here.
Right.
We are streams of energy. So when you do this for yourself, you naturally elevate the people who are with you, your
Yeah.
pets, your things hum better. My computer doesn't crash when I'm taking care. I'm not woo woo. It's crazy funny how all of that stuff is so interconnected. So it's good to do, if not this, any of the guests on Deanna's podcast.
Oh,
If something resonates with you, that's your soul saying, good medicine. That's
yeah.
good for me. So I really am so grateful that you're sharing all of this out, because this is the time where we have the time and the moment to take it to grow ourselves and help all of us rise.
Woo! With that being said, Corey, thank you so much for being a guest. Like I said, I will put all your links in the episode description of the episode, and I would love to have you back anytime. We'll do a follow up maybe in a couple months and see how things are
Definitely.
going.
Maybe we do some art together.
Yes, I would totally be into that. Yeah, we totally
Me too.
interactive would
With
be
the dogs.
yes. We'll get her paws involved. She'll be a lot bigger by then, but yeah, as she's chewing on my hand. All right, you guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, and I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.